Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a tutorial on this purple cut crease that you may have seen on my Instagram already. I am using the Morphe and James Charles palette again, so I hope you guys enjoy the look. So first up we're going to be using is the NARS concealer in Custard. We are going to draw a line under both eyebrows, and then I'm just going to use a flat concealer brush to carve out my eyebrows. I will be filling them in, but not until later on in the video. Then I'm just going to use my Ronyo Makeup House F3 brush to buff that out. Now for my eye base, I'm going to be using my Plouise eye bases. I have both shades 2 and 3, but in this video I just ended up using the shade 2 alone. Because I was using the purples, I wanted them to come out more brighter, so I use more of a lighter base. And as you can see in the video, I do like to apply quite a generous amount. I just feel I get a better finish when I do it this way. Now we're just going to go in with the same brush we used before to buff that in. So you just want to pat it in on the eyelid and then buff out the edges. Our first shade we're going to use from the palette is this stunning matte purple shade here. And we're going to be using my Zoeva, I think it's 222 brush, but I will leave the brushes listed down in the info bar. If for some reason I forget, please remind me in the comments. We're just going to pat that color on all over the eyelid. We're not going to blend it, and we aren't going to take it too high just yet. Now moving on to our second color, which is like this, I don't know what you like, a orchid, lavender, magenta type of color. I'm using my Zoeva 227 brush, and we're just gonna layer and really pack on that color above the purple. We want to soften it, but we don't want to over blend it too much, and we don't want to bring it high too much yet. Pretty much just what I'm doing in the video. Now I'm gonna dip into the same shade we just used, so our second shade, and I am gonna mix it in with a tiny bit of the white, because we're going to create a lighter version to be our transition color. So this look, you know, blending dark to light, it's kind of like you have to go through the ugly to get to the good stage. So now we're heading into the good stage. So we're just going to go back in with our second color. We're going to re-intensify it and smoke it out more. That's why my eye looks are so intense, is because I do layer a lot, but it's worth it in the end. Now we are going to repeat the same step, but with our darker purple shade. Now before I cut the crease, I just wanted to wipe away any fallout that I had underneath my eyes, just so it just looks clean. And to cut my crease, I'm going to be using my Plouise eye base in the shade 1. I know she has some lighter, even lighter shades than this. The brush I'm using is also from Inglot. It's the 22T brush. It has been my favorite as of recently, because my older favorite cut crease brush got discontinued, and I'm finding it hard to find it, so I had to find a new brush to love. And this is what I ended up with. So we're going to slowly start cutting. I like to start at the beginning and slowly work my way out. Obviously, because of video purposes, I do have to make it quicker, but don't think it takes me this quick to do it in real life. I take a long time. It's a lot of time and patience to try and get it as cut as possible. On clients, I'm much quicker because I just can see everything in front of my eyes. But honestly, doing it on myself, it's so hard. Like, sometimes I dread doing a cut crease on myself because of how long it takes. But it's worth it. Like, you get some good selfies. Then I'm going to go in with that orchid lavender shade, and we're just going to pack that on to the end of the eye base. And then we are going to go in with a little bit of the darker purple and apply that to the very outer corner of the eyes as well. So it's really nice when you have the outer corner darkness colors wrap into the crease, if that makes sense. Now we're going to move on to this shimmer shade. This is actually probably my favorite shimmer from the palette. It has a different formula than the other shimmers. Like, this one's more of a like an iridescent shimmery glittery type of finish. I really like it. I just applied it to the center on an angle, And then I went in with the white shade, and I used that to set the area that I didn't touch, like this inner part area. I'm gonna be honest, guys, this bit just happened by fluke. Like, I wasn't planning that bit, it just happened. So that was pretty cool, worked out well. So yeah, I just done the other eye off camera. This eye took me a bit longer, it was more difficult because I don't know if you could tell when I didn't have makeup on. I had like a little bit of a bump under my eye. It's not a sty, I went and got it checked out, it's something else. It's just from, like, I just need a, I think it's because of my eye drops, my clear eyes I've been using. Like, you know how it tells you to throw it out after a certain amount of time of being open? I don't really do that, so I think that's why I got it. Anyways, moving on to my eyebrows, I'm using Benefits Cosmetics KaBrow in the shade 3 and 4. I'm just going to mix them together. The brush I'm using is also from Longwear Makeup House brush set. P.S. This is not, what's it called? It's not a sponsored video. I just love her brushes, and she's a really good friend of mine, and she's been working on them for such a long time. Like, it's been a very long time. I was lucky enough to be given the one of the sample sets to try out over time, and I just love it. Like, they're such good brushes, so I'm really excited for her to bring them out to the world. But yeah, anyways, with the eyebrows, I just carved out the bottom, the top, and just filled them in. And as you can see now, I like to draw a few little hair strokes at the front of my brow. I'm lucky because my brows are microbladed, so I have a guide, but I actually have no hair at the front of my brow, so I have to make it look like I do. Now we're going to set those brows in place with Benefits Clear Brow Gel, the 24-hour brow setter. I've tried a lot of different brands of clear brow gel. Some people think they're just all the same, but they're not the same. They're all very much different, and this one is definitely my personal favorite. So we're going to move on to liner. I was feeling like a thin but long liner today. So that's what I did, and I used the NYX liquid liner, and it's just the black one. And then for lashes, which was even harder to choose because I wanted something full and glam but not cover all my hard work of doing this cut crease. And I had these lashes which I recently just bought. I'll show you soon, but right now I'm just cleaning up the bit of shadow that was under my eyeliner. I grabbed a clean angled brush and a bit of micellar water and just cleaned that up. So these are the lashes I was talking about. They're from Kiss Cosmetics. I just randomly came across them when I was shopping in Priceline. I was like, oh, they look nice. Bought them and then tried them. I'm like, oh my gosh, obsessed. And I went back to buy them, and they've never been back in stock ever since. I can't find them. Damn it. Now that the eyes are kind of semi-done, we're just going to move on to the base for now. I'm using the Huda Beauty Primer. I do like this primer. I do like the stickiness that it gives. I feel like it holds, like really grabs my foundation. So that's what I used. And for today's foundation, we're going to be using the NARS Longwear Radiant, I think it's called. And I'm just going to apply it with this kind of kabuki brush from, what's it called, BH Cosmetics. I'm a big fan of their kabuki brushes. I think they're so good. I don't know, they really apply the foundation nicely. They kind of remind me also of the Real Techniques ones as well. If you're a long-term follower of mine, you know I like to look, you know, lots of bronzer. So I'm just going to do a bit of cream bronzing or contouring. And I'm using the LA Girl Pro HD Concealer in the shade Chestnut. I want to do a few little strokes on my cheeks. It looks like a little bit, but wait until I use a brush because it's very pigmented, guys. Like, look at that. Like, that's a shitload. And I only applied a little bit. So what I do is I just apply it to the cheeks, and I just move it, like apply it in different areas of the face. So that's why I didn't directly apply it to the forehead and my jawline, because otherwise it just would have been too much product on my face. So that's why I did it how I did. And then to buff it out, I'm using my Longwear Makeup House cream contouring brush. I do love this a lot for blending out my cream contour. Like, as you can see, it buffs it out really nicely. And don't freak out when using a darker shade. Like, a lot of people are too scared to go darker, but I reckon go that little bit darker because it will be more, like, your face will look more sculpted. And like, I don't over blend it too much because I like that kind of harsher contour look. But if you want it to be softer, just keep buffing it out and it'll just keep shearing out. Now just the leftover product on my brush, I'm just going to shade that down my nose. Today I wanted to try out these new concealers that I sent. This was sent to me as a PR. They're the Cover Fix Powerplay concealers. I haven't really watched any, I actually haven't watched any reviews on them, so I don't know what people are saying about them, but this was like pretty much my first time playing with them, and I really liked them. It's not full coverage, but it's not light coverage either. It's just a good amount. Like, I really liked it. It wasn't too overboard. It blended in really nicely. It kind of had like a bit of a satiny finish. So yeah, I had nothing bad to say about this concealer at all. So we're going to set that concealer using the Australis banana powder and one of the Real Techniques under eye setting brushes, I think it may be called. Man, it looks like it's had it, like, look at it. Looked like it went through like a tornado or something. I've had it for quite a long time. It's one of my OG brushes. And I'm just going to use that to set the center of my face as well. To further bronze and contour, I am using my Kiko all-in-one bronzer. And the brush I'm using is from MAC. I can't remember the name. But it's a really nice brush for like bronzers and blushes and all that. Now for blush, I'm going to be using these two shades from my Hourglass palette. I didn't want my cheeks to be like pink, so I used more of like that kind of bronzy peachy color. I love this palette, it's so nice. Now I'm going to dip into the highlight shade from the same palette, and we're just going to apply that to the high points of my cheeks. I've been obsessed with that palette, you guys. Like, I use every single shade in that palette. I just love Hourglass powders. I like the way they look. They're just really nice. So now that the base is pretty much done, we're going to move back to the eyes. I'm going to highlight the inner corner with the matte white eyeshadow from the same palette. And then I'm just going to apply some shadow to my lower lash line. You can apply as much or as little as you want. It depends on your comfort zone. I do like quite a bit of shadow on these, so yeah, I just really smoked out that purple, just the same purples we use in the crease. Now I'm just going to apply a bit of mascara. This is the Too Faced one. Not my favorite for bottom lashes. The brush is quite big, but yeah, it will do. And then to complete the look, we're just going to chuck on some nude lippy. This is from Anastasia in the shade Honey. I wanted it to be quite nude, just so it doesn't take too much attention away from the eye makeup. And I just lightly shaded the outline of my lips with a MAC lip liner. It was either stripped down or oak. I'm pretty sure it was stripped down. Alright, you guys, that is the completed look. I hope you guys liked it. It took me bloody ages to film this tutorial, but I loved the way it turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget to leave your comments and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks, guys.